Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be setting up our horizontal spreads for the next week in August. And I've got all of these mild liners here ready to go, as well as this friction highlighter set here. I have a Sharpie fine point, ultra fine point actually, a water brush pen from Arteza, some washi tapes from Joanne in the pastel set, and this sticker book, which I'll pull from. So this is the third week of the August Plannable Challenge. This week's theme is Coloring is Fun. So if you'd like to participate, go ahead and post your spreads up on Instagram using the hashtag PlannableAugust2021. We'd love to see what you come up with. Okay, so this week I decided to do some creative washi tape decor. Just had an idea in my mind to do crayons. I really didn't have anything in my stash that was like crayons. So I thought, well, how can I recreate that? And I thought, well, maybe I could do something with just like solid washi. So what I decided to do was use this pastel set of washi tapes in kind of a rainbow color scheme, since it's already made out there for me with the colors all being in a rainbow tone. So I'm going to go ahead and use those. Right now I'm laying them down on my cutting mat so that I can easily trim them to look like crayons. I just had in my mind that I would do kind of flat crayons with just a blunted tip, which you'll see. I'm going to try to trace it out here a little bit so I can see how deep I want to make the tip of the crayon and like where I want it to fall here on the actual cutting board so that I can repeat the process over and over for all of the washi tape. And I'm going to do 2 out of each one of these strips. So I'm going to do the tips on the ends and then just do a blunt cut across the middle to separate out the crayons. So I'm going to go ahead and start off just by cleaning up the edges here so I have a fresh edge to work with. Pretty simple. And I'm getting pretty close to where the middle is, but not 100%, so there is like a little bit of a flat edge there on the tip. And then I'm going to actually use my Sharpie to write on the washi tape. I tried using just a regular pen, but it really doesn't adhere well. You really need an alcohol-based pen in order to write on the washi, at least in the washi I have. Some washi is more like paper, but this one has a little bit of a waxiness to it on the top, and so regular pens just were not going to work. So I figured out where I want the lines to go, and I'm just using that first one as a guide and then repeating the process on all of the other strips of washi. So I'm just going to check and make sure that I'm aligning these the same way. And it's really handy because I have this cutting board with all of the grid pattern in the back, so I can easily tell where things need to fall for consistency. Same with the cuts here at the top with the tip. I'm just using the same angle, aligning points on each side. It's not perfect. You'll see when I come up, some are a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but you really can't tell once you get it there on the page. It looks like, you know, you just can't tell. So I've got that, and I'm going to go ahead and start laying them in. I've decided that I want to do kind of like an outside border here on the spread with these washi tapes. Originally I was thinking I was going to see more of the crayon, which is why I did both the top and the bottom pieces. But I think I'm going to trim off a lot of the bottom, so it might not even have been necessary to make such long crayons. But it's good to know, you know, just to have the full aspect of the item that you want to work with so you can place it however you want and then just trim off any excess. I'm also going to try to keep the Roy G. Biv color scheme going down the page, so starting off with more of the warm tones and then going down into the cool tones. Just kind of haphazardly placing the stickers there on the spread, trying not to cover up words where I can't avoid it. And now I'm in the Happy Plans sticker book I pulled for the spread. And I thought it would be a good choice to match up with the kind of softer pastel tones that I have here with the washi tape. However, it doesn't really have the variety of colors that I think I'm going to need for the focus boxes. So I went ahead and grabbed out this Colorful Boxes, kind of the painterly one. I think it was the third one that came out. That book and the Rainbow Mega Pack in case I needed some filler boxes. But basically, I'm just going to see what I have in here and try to, again, keep that color of like warm to cool down the page, kind of creating a rainbow effect. Yeah, just working with what I have and seeing if I can make that happen with these focus boxes. Everything's going to stay pretty functional on the spread, so it's going to look pretty repetitive from day to day. Focus boxes, I think I'm going to keep them all in line, as well as my checklists, and then the decor there on the outside. So that's how I'm planning, and now I'm just trying to figure out how I might work in all of these boxes and kind of get the right color scheme going, since, like I said, I don't have the variety of boxes in either of the books actually to make this work 100% out of one book. So I decided to kind of mix it up and use half of the focus boxes from one book, the Colorful Boxes, and then the other focus boxes from the Happy Plans. And that way I had a little bit more variety to choose from and could kind of mix and match the colors that I needed. I also think I want to add a little bit of just kind of texture, fun in the background. So I'm trying some things out with that water brush pen and a highlighter. I think that adding the water to the highlighter might be a little much. So we're just gonna try the highlighter straight up on that little sticker sheet stencil I had made a while back and just kind of do a scribble and see how that looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this friction highlighter and see if I like that. And I do. I like the way that that looks. And I'm going to go ahead and start going all the way down the page, kind of creating background texture for each of those focus boxes. Now I will say this color I just laid down, the kind of burnt orange tone, is not the match that I thought it was when I pulled it. So it's the only color that I felt like didn't quite go with the rest of the colors that I pulled. But overall, once I get everything down, it kind of blends into the background a little bit more. You'll see as I go. I kind of feel like the right-hand side came out a little better with the colors that I ended up pulling for the spread. And this little stencil here, if you're new to my channel, is just a sticker sheet from an empty Happy Planner sheet, and I've just cut it in a circle so it's a little easier to handle and put a little bit of cardstock on the back so I have a little handle for it. But it's coded obviously for being able to remove stickers on and off the sheet. And what happens is when you put the ink on top of it, it kind of pulls up into little bubbles and just makes a nice cool effect of texture. So I discovered that a few months ago and I really like the effect. So I'm just using that here again, like I said, for a little added texture, a little splatter background, kind of creating a little more fun in the spread. And here I am laying in the rest of those focus boxes here on the right. Again, I kind of felt like the colors just looked a little bit better here on this side, as you'll see, but overall, together, I think it makes a good spread. I'm going to go ahead and start moving things over as far as the decor is concerned. I'm not really being too particular as where I am laying in these crayons as I go. I had them laid out on the wax paper one way, and I just started laying them in a different way when I started putting them on the sheet. And it was just how I was feeling, and I wanted to mix it up a little bit, so I did. And yeah, you know, sometimes you just do that. You think you're gonna do something one way and change it up last minute. So here I'm going to save all of the ends of these crayons in case I want to add more in to the decor. I haven't really decided if that's a good idea or not at this point. I'm like, well, I really like the simplicity of the way things look right now on the spread, but it could be a little fuller. You never know. Sometimes it's nice to see more going on. So I'm going to go ahead and lay these in first. Save all those trimmings from the washi crayons, and then if I decide that I want to add them in, I will, but I'll do a little test just to make sure before I commit to that, because I don't want them there and then just kind of messes up the whole design. Sometimes that happens if you're not too careful. It really depends on what look you're going for. When you're using trimmed off stickers, or in my case here, washi, if you want it to look super full, then yes, I would totally think that adding in a bunch of these little extras will really help create a fuller border and just kind of fill up the space a bit more. However, on the downside, if you really want a simple look, it can create a little bit more clutter that might not be beneficial to your design. And here I had to readjust some of the spacing, and when I was seeing how it was going to look, I decided no, I didn't like the way that was coming out. So just decided to leave off the ends. And now I'm going to go ahead and add in my checklists using my highlighters in the same colors that I used in the backgrounds of the focus boxes. Just trying these colors out. Again, there's some bolder colors than I had originally wanted to use here, but you know, you do what you got to do. I also wanted to add a little bit more texture since a lot of it is being covered up by the focus boxes, so I'm just going to do a small amount of each one on top of the focus box. Only really doing the ones that are from the Colorful Boxes sticker book with the doubled up boxes. Just decided that would kind of help make it not look too busy. And then I'm going to also add in there's like a dot grid pattern that's on the Happy Plans focus boxes on the Colorful Boxes ones as well, just so that they kind of match up with the black. And once I am done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye!